What to expect when raising an alien Chapter 1 morning. Sonic slept in the first morning, tired out from all the energy of the road trip and their fight with Robotnik. Tom woke him at 10.
Come on, sleepy then.
He said.
If you won't have any pancakes.
Sonic groggily opened his eyes.
What are pancakes?
He mumbled tiredly.
You will know if you don't come downstairs.
Tom stood, heading back to the attic door. There was a groan from Sonic's bed, his curiosity at war with his exhaustion. Eventually, he pulled himself from the warm embrace of his blankets and rushed downstairs. Maddie was already seated at the counter, reading a newspaper as she ate. She smiled at Sonic as he zoomed in.
Well, look who's awake.
She teased. Sonic hopped up onto a chair as Tom slid a plate of pancakes in front of him.
These are pancakes.
He said proudly. Sonic reached to grab one, but Tom placed a fork in his hand and said,
There's Sonic.
He chided.
Pancakes are burning.
Maddie said, not looking up from what she was reading. Tom turned to see the pancakes were indeed burning, and hurried to flip them over. Sonic stabbed his fork into the soft pancake and took a cautious bite. His eyes lit up.
These are great,
he said through a mouthful of pancakes.
Don't talk with your mouth full. It's rude.
Maddie said. Sonic closed his mouth and nodded, before continuing to devour the pancakes. By the time Tom had turned back around, last of the pancakes cooked, Sonic's plate was completely empty.
Hungry, huh?
Sonic nodded vehemently.
I want to learn how to cook.
He exclaimed, rushing to the stove. He bounced on his toes in front of Tom.
Please, please, please.
Later, okay.
Tom said, placing the dishes in the sink.
We'll make dinner together.
Sonic grinned.
Deal.
Maddie closed the newspaper, moving her dishes to the sink along with Tom and Sonic's.
Well, I'm going out to run errands.
She said to Sonic.
Do you want to come?
Cool, I've never run errands before.
Sonic mused.
What are we buying? Eggs, milk, and we go right now.
Brush your teeth first.
Tom called as he moved into the next room, getting ready for work. Sonic groaned.
Fine. Don't.
Maddie grabbed her wallet.
Then let's get going.
She said. Sonic's face twisted in confusion.
Don't you need the car keys?
Nope, we're going to walk.
Maddie said. Sonic was practically bouncing as they headed down the sidewalk.
So,
Maddie began.
do you like living with us?
Yeah, I've never really had a family before. It's nice.
Sonic said. Maddie smiled, ruffling the curls on his head.
I'm glad.
As they reached the town's more populated area, Sonic noticed that people weren't staring at him. It seemed the town had taken his arrival pretty well, all things considered. Some even waved at him or gave a polite hello.
In here.
Maddie said, nodding at a general store. She pushed the door open, the bell attached to it giving a satisfying chime. Sonic stared in wonder at the shelves stocked with packaged food.
This is the most beautiful place I've ever seen.
He marveled. Maddie gave him a strange look. Even
Really?
Sonic nodded, jaw slack.
What do we need to buy? All of it.
Maddie chuckled, pulling up the shopping list on her phone.
We need milk, dog food, orange juice. In a blur of blue, Sonic returned with his arms full of all the aforementioned items.
What else?
He asked excitedly.
Sonic?
Maddie began.
That's cat food, and that's almond milk.
Sonic looked confused.
There's a difference.
Maddie smiled.
Well, let's slow down and I'll explain.
She said, grabbing a shopping basket.
Want to hold the basket?
Sonic dropped the bags from his shopping trip with Maddie on the counter, grinning proudly.
Look at all the groceries we got.
Tom looked at the spill of groceries over the counter, then up at Maddie, who was staring at the mess with similar concern.
Okay.
Maddie said, clapping her hands together.
Now let's put this all away.
She grabbed the 2 cartons of milk, and after a second added,
Neatly.
Sonic began to place the bread in the fridge, and then Tom had to explain the criteria for what belongs and doesn't belong in the fridge.
So milk goes in the fridge,
Sonic said,
Yes.
but not bread,
Yes.
but eggs.
Yes.
What about dog food?
No, that goes in the garage.
Sonic frowned, confusion crossing his face.
How do you decide?
Tom struggled to find the words. He looked to Maddie for help.
Foods that can go bad without being cold.
She said.
Like milk that goes in the fridge.
Sonic nodded.
But food that doesn't need to be cold can be stored somewhere else, like bread.
She explained.
How do you know if it needs to be cold or not?
Now it was Maddie's turn to look at Tom for help.
We'll work on it.
He promised. Sonic's frustration faded.
You should go work on your homework.
He said.
You've got catching up to do for the start of the year.
Sonic groaned.
But it's boring.
He complained.
It may seem boring, but homework can be fun sometimes, like if it's a subject you like. For me, I always enjoy doing science homework.
Sonic groaned. Maddie said. Sonic frowned.
That's weird.
He said.
That's road now, homework.
Tom said, putting on his best stern voice, and Sonic trudged up to the attic to start on his work. Tom sighed, leaning onto the counter.
It's like raising a kid.
With the attitude of a teenager.
Maddie added, but there was an edge of fondness to her voice. Tom nodded.
We're going to need to pick up some parenting books. Or because your sister...
Maddie laughed.
Absolutely not.